Welcome to the first installment of Aaron Turner's Raw Reviews. Now, if you don't know what a Raw review is, I'm not going to explain it in this video. I did an update video earlier this year explaining what these reviews are going to be, so I'll put a link to that video in the description. Now, I just saw Toy Story 5. I thought it was pretty good. Now, Toy Story 4, I rewatched it before going to see this new movie, and I know a lot of people don't like that movie, and while I don't think it's that bad, I don't agree with some of the criticisms towards that movie. I think it has a lot of good aspects, but I do think that it's the weakest movie in terms of the story. And I remember watching the trailers for that movie and thinking, like, there's nothing about the trailers that really grabbed me and made me really, like, interested in this movie. However, for Toy Story 5, watching the trailers for this movie, I thought that the whole concept of technology versus toys versus tech and lily pad, I thought, wow, that actually seems like a really good concept and something that definitely is like, yeah, justifies this movie being made, other than Mickey Mouse wants money, which was pretty, let's be honest, pretty much the only point of Toy Story 4. That movie, it didn't feel like it justified itself, Toy Story 4. I just was like, yeah, this is just a cash grab. Again, even though I don't think it's that bad. Toy Story 5 definitely justifies itself. And I will just say that I think this is a big step up from Toy Story 4. Toy Story 5, it has a more meaningful story than the last movie. I love the concept of toys versus tech. Jessie is the main character of this movie, and I think that makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense considering that, this movie is about tech. The toys are in fear of the tech replacing them. So I think Jessie being the main character really helps that, considering, the backstory she had in Toy Story 2 with her previous kid, Emily. So, and that is part of the story in this movie too. Yeah, I thought that was handled really well. There's also a group of new toys introduced in this movie. There's also whole group of high-tech versions of Buzz Lightyear, which honestly don't really add much to the movie. But overall, again, I thought this was a huge step up from the last movie. I thought that the story was a lot more meaningful. This movie feels a lot more in line with the first three movies in terms of the feel of those movies, and also it does have some a lot more emotional moments compared to Toy Story 4, again, that are in line with the first three movies. And there's also references to the older movies that you can get a kick out of. Woody returns in this movie. The ending of Toy Story 4, Woody stays behind with Bo Peep, and that he says goodbye to the toys. He returns from the, you've seen the trailers, he does return in this movie. He doesn't really do much in this movie. I just felt like, yeah, they have Woody in this movie because they can't do a Toy Story movie without Woody. And yeah, that's basically the only reason he's in this movie. He kind of takes a back seat. I honestly think this movie would have worked perfectly fine without Woody, but I understand that they were kind of afraid of making a Toy Story movie without Woody. I'm sure there would be a lot of fan outrage if that happened. So I don't really blame them, but at the same time, he doesn't contribute anything to this movie. Again, I think Jessie being the main character works. Buzz is like the second main character, pretty much. The other toys are there too. They kind of are put on in a back seat as well, which I know a lot of people did not like Toy Story 4. The other toys didn't really do anything. I feel like they have more to do in this movie. There's more screen time with the other toys, but at the same time, a lot of them don't get a ton of lines, so it's really not a significant role. I also appreciate the fact that this movie has a different animation style for when the toys are in playtime, which I thought was an awesome idea. They have this like canvas uh, look to the animation during playtime. And I also like that they bring the playtime scenes back, because Toy Story 4 didn't have any scenes dedicated to playtime. So again, this is what I'm saying when I'm to say this movie feels a lot more in line with the first three movies. So I'd recommend this movie. Uh, I'd probably give it a 7, 8 out of 10. Um, I'll be generous. I'll say 8 out of 10. But yeah, so I'd recommend this movie, especially if you're someone who did not like Toy Story 4. I wouldn't say this is one of the best Pixar movies, but it's certainly a lot better than Toy Story 4. And Toy Story 3, I don't know. I'm not huge on that movie like a lot of people are, but I would say Toy Story 3 is a little better than this movie. And yeah, it doesn't even come close to topping the first two Toy Story movies, the second movie being my favorite. So I'd still recommend this movie though.